sign House Republicans remain unserious about actually governing. They wanted to impeach President Biden, not for trying to overturn the election, as the previous president attempted,
or to try to bribe foreign leaders to dig up dirt on their political opponents by holding up defensive military weapons.
Start an insurrection.
Yeah. Starting an insurrection as well?
Yeah. Nope. But rather over issues relating to the longstanding problems at the southern border. Let's bring in staff writer at The Atlantic, Tom Nichols, and congressional reporter for Politico, Olivia Beavers. And Olivia, you have new reporting that there are 2 other impeachment resolutions in the works by Republicans, which only adds to the uphill battle for Speaker Kevin McCarthy to unite his party. And you write, quote, conservative hardliners are racing to force doomed votes hitting the president, frustrating battleground seat members and causing a new headache for Republican leaders. Tell us about it.
Yes, Mika. So what you saw was basically an inflection point. We've been waiting for House Republicans to get to this place. They've been talking about impeachment for a long time. But basically, when Lauren Boebert went to the floor and said that she would be introducing a privilege resolution, basically to force her colleagues to vote on an impeachment resolution for Joe Biden, for the president, other Republicans started coming forward saying, well, I had some that I was looking to introduce. And you talked about it earlier on your show this morning, but that was what the Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert fight was actually about, was Greene confronting Boebert and saying, you copied my articles of impeachment. I was planning on doing something there. And so that sort of gives you a taste of this appetite. When I was asking Marjorie Taylor Greene about whether there was hypocrisy in Republicans just charging forward because they were arguing that Democrats didn't give the former president due process after January 6th. She goes, well, that's what happens. They open Pandora's box, and we're going to turn around and use their tools as well. So you're seeing them really trying to push forward on it, and this is going to upset the moderate and rank and file members, and it's also going to be a huge headache for McCarthy if they keep charging forward on this.
Tom Nichols, who would have ever seen this coming? Who would have ever seen a House that is now run in large part by Marjorie Taylor Greene, because that's the House that Kevin McCarthy signed up for.
That's the House he built.
A guy that he said, I will defend her till the bitter end, till the last person standing. Who would ever seen this coming? I mean, you look at the clown show, actually, and these were people that say that the Democrats were progressive and wacky and they weren't paying attention to the economy or inflation or gas prices. Here they are with impeachments over policy, still talking about the Biden crime family when they can't name a single crime. They can only talk about driving the numbers down, and still defending an ex-president who stole nuclear secrets.
You knew it was coming when Kevin McCarthy had to jump through 15 votes to become Speaker. So at the very least, we knew this was coming for some months. But it's also the longer, it's the tail end of a longer process of electing people whose entire electoral platform is lib owning and kind of being online and, sort of, who can be the meanest girl in the cafeteria or the toughest bully in the schoolyard. I was watching this and I was thinking back to when I worked in the Senate years ago, how overwhelmed I felt about trying to figure out, the difference between an authorization and an appropriation, and trying to figure out where the markup was happening, and, which bill affected our people in our state, and on and on and on. And I watch this and I say, you don't care about any of that. This is all the nationalization of politics, so that this isn't really about a district in Georgia or a district in Colorado. Those voters aren't being served other than in some kind of larger psychic way of, isn't this fun? Right. Isn't this great TV? But it doesn't seem like anybody's really interested in doing the people's business. Kevin McCarthy wants to be speaker, and all these other folks want to be in Washington, being on TV and doing crazy stuff. And in the meantime, is anybody passing any bills or appropriating any budgets or going to the website?
I mean, Joe Biden's getting some bipartisan bills passed with the help of Republicans in the Senate and a few in the House. But, the thing is that I don't think a lot of people understand is the crazier you act in the Republican Party, the more money you raise. And you look at MTG and look at all the money that she raises and other people that say extreme things. It's all gesturing. It's not to pass legislation. It's gesturing to raise money. And kind of the tell was that MTG accused Lauren Boebert of doing this because she had to raise a lot of money by the end of the month.
Because it was the end of the quarter.
Say, wait, because it was the end of the quarter, she needs to raise a lot of money. Well, the pot calls the kettle black. So, Olivia, the thing is, it would be fine if people understand why Kevin McCarthy has a huge headache right now. This would be fine if everybody came from really bright red districts. Fine for Kevin McCarthy, the Republicans. But Kevin McCarthy knows he's only speaker for two reasons. One, because the New York legislature didn't know how to basically how to fix their districts in a way that wouldn't be overturned by courts. And the second reason is because of 14, 15 Republicans who were elected in Biden districts. I mean, these extreme measures, when they force these people to vote on these extreme measures, aren't these people from bright red districts only making sure they're going to be in the minority next time?
It puts them in a really difficult position, Joe, because when they're on the record voting against it, then you start having sort of these right-wing influencers saying they should be primaried, and you might not have a more conservative Republican being able to take that seat like they were able to hold. And I was talking to a few of them even before Lauren Boebert introduced her resolution, because we were starting to get wind that there were going to be impeachment resolutions coming forward from Congressman Ogles. And I talked to Mike Garcia. He's from California. He's a battleground Republican. And he was saying this is ridiculous. This is what we were hitting Democrats on. And they're going to be bringing this forward without us actually having enough evidence to claim the president should be impeached. In other words, there's really a fear that looking overzealous and too partisan and political will blow back on them. But some of the further conservative wings of that party don't really seem to care that might have an impact on their more centrist members.
Because they don't care, Mika, because they don't care whether they're in the majority or not. They say crazy things. They raise money in the minority. They say crazy things. They raise money in the majority. They probably raise even more money when they're in the minority, right, because they can do the old, the snowflake routine. Oh, poor, pitiful me. The whole world's against me. Well,